Welcome everybody to another edition of High School Sports Weekly. I'm Chris Stewart and looking forward this week to being joined by our new co-host. We'll introduce you to Susan Carruthers coming up in just a moment. We're also going to recap Week 3 of region play in high school football in our area. Also, a chance to talk a little baseball. We're going to meet Thompson High School's pitcher Logan Walker. He has overcome some physical differences to become one of the top student athletes in our area. We're also going to visit with a legendary high school track and field and cross-country coach from Hoover High School in Devon Hine. National Scouting Report's Rachel Brown will join us talking about the recruiting scene, and we'll take a look at what's on tap for Week 4 in high school football as well. Stay with us. OS1 presents High School Sports Weekly. OS1 Sports Injury Clinic in Hoover is a proud partner of High School Sports Weekly. OS1 has fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians right here in your community. There's no appointment needed. Just drive up to the door. They've got X-ray and MRI on site. So now, being injured or having an orthopedic issue doesn't mean you need to be exposed to sick people. Avoid the hassle and time of going to an ER when you can get more specialized care in a more timely fashion at OS1. Open 7 days a week to serve you. It's OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, and find them online at bettersooner.com. Week number 3 of the high school football season in our area meant that we finally got a chance to get into region play. 7A Region 3 saw head-to-head matchups for the first time. Let's take a look at some of the action. Hewitt-Trussville, no surprise, a big winner, but the margin of victory over Spain Park somewhat surprising. 45-13, the Huskies knocking off the previously unbeaten Jaguars. Vestavia Hills finally got to take to the gridiron for the first time this year. They battled hard, but lost a tough one to Hoover as the Bucks jumped out on top, stayed ahead, winning by a final of 24-21 at Vestavia. Oak Mountain stayed perfect on the year. The Eagles are now 3-0, 1-0 in region play as they defeated Gadsden City 38-23. It was a tough night for County High, Tuscaloosa County falling to the top team in the state and one of the top teams in the country. Thompson winning by a final of 49-7.
Connor Harrell to J.B. Mitchell for the Thompson touchdown.
We'll have the schedule for this coming week coming up a little bit later. But first, we get a chance to welcome in my new co-host, Susan Carruthers. It's great to have you with us on High School Sports Weekly.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
It is not foreign territory for you. The granddaughter of the executive director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, the late Bubba Scott. High school sports in the state, truly a family affair for you.
It sure is, yes. I grew up in Vestavia, so right back at home here in this region. Now I live in Montgomery. I have 2 little boys. They are 8 and 10, so just getting really interested in sports and high school sports especially. But yeah, it's in my blood. Grew up with a grandfather who coached here in the state of Alabama on the high school and college level, and then went on to lead the Alabama High School Athletic Association for many years. So yes, I'm in Montgomery. I have a children's book that's about all of the SEC mascots. So football is just woven all throughout my life, and it's something that I really love and means a lot to me. So thrilled to be a part of this.
We're thrilled to have you with us. We look forward to talking about the book a little bit more later on. But with this show, and again, as you said, you grew up in this area, right. You know how important high school sports are.
I do. Yes.
Special.
It is special, and that's one thing that I was really able to see, just how coaches and being on a high school team can really affect and build a person, build an adult, and then in turn, build families, build communities. And so it's about more than the scores. It's about these communities, about these lives, and that's really what it's all about.
And in a time like what we've all been experiencing, right. It's nice to have a sense of normalcy.
It is.
Which back with high school football and high school sports is part of it.
That's right. There's a lot today, wrong in the world, but high school sports is right and it's good and it's not perfect. I mean, it's a human thing, but it's good, and I'm really thankful it's happening right now. I mean, I've never been more thankful for a high school sport.
All right, rookie, first time, get us to a commercial break.
Okay, one of the special things we want to do on this show is to highlight student athletes that have overcome adversity to follow their dreams. So when we come back, we're going to introduce you to a very special Thompson baseball player.
OS1 Sports Injury Clinic in Hoover is a proud partner of High School Sports Weekly. OS1 has fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians right here in your community. There's no appointment needed. Just drive up to the door. They've got X-ray and MRI on site. So now, being injured or having an orthopedic issue doesn't mean you need to be exposed to sick people. Avoid the hassle and time of going to an ER when you can get more specialized care in a more timely fashion at OS1. Open 7 days a week to serve you. It's OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, and find them online at bettersooner.com.
Alabama is a hotbed for baseball. To stand out, you need something special. We found that something special in a young man at Thompson High School in Alabaster. But it isn't what Logan Walker does on the field that makes him special. As Donette Logan found out, it's Logan's drive to be the best despite pitching with one hand that has him catching everyone's eye.
They watch.
I think some of them are probably kind of surprised.
They wonder.
Coming out here and doing that, just a slight disadvantage, and then coming out and making it. And I was a little bit surprised too, but
And he surprises them all.
Well, I had amniotic band syndrome in my right arm up here on my bicep and tricep area. I kind of cut off the circulation, didn't get enough nutrients to grow all the way, so not too much feeling in there, so you can kind of flick it or something, I won't be able to tell. And then I got this scar up there from the surgery from draining fluid from forearm, and I told everybody it was a shark bite when I was in first grade. So.
Thompson High School sophomore Logan Walker was born with disabilities that for some would steer them away from sports.
I had a club foot, which makes my right leg about an inch shorter than my left. So then I had spina bifida occulta on my spine, and had that twice. About when I was born, got it taken off. Then it came back when I was about 11, and no, I was 9. And came back, got it taken off again, and then, recovered. That was the last surgery I had, but I've had 6 total.
Logan's journey is one his parents never dreamed of.
Kind of, scared for him, not knowing, what was going to happen or what they were going to tell us next, or, was he going to be okay?
But the moment they saw their son, they knew anything he wanted in life was possible, and he has proven that. From having his first surgery at just 8 weeks old to taking his baseball journey to the next level at age 11.
He has always figured out a way, whether it's tying a shoe or pitching or whatever, he's figured out a way to accomplish whatever it is he wants to do.
And for Logan, what he wanted to do 3 years ago was play ball for the Thompson Warriors.
We tried out for our 8th grade baseball team, and it's really the first time I'd seen him. And, he had a good arm from the left side, and what stood out to me was how hard he worked.
He's learned to play baseball in a way that fits him. Unlike other pitchers whose non-throwing arm creates momentum and moves upward when the pitchers lift their legs, Logan's arm stays near his belly button as he throws, still holding his glove. It's a style that reminds many of Major League Baseball star Jim Abbott. Abbott was born without a right hand and threw a no-hitter for the Yankees in '93.
He was a one-arm pitcher in the major leagues who had his arm cut off about elbow length, and he would always have his glove tucked under, and I watched videos of him to learn how to do it and just have it tucked under, and he'd throw it, put it on, and be ready for the ball to come back.
When Logan took to the mound, he wasn't too clear on where he would fit in on Thompson's baseball team, but Coach Hamrick saw him try out and knew exactly the role he needed.
I mean, he has a good breaking ball. He's probably, at his age, been a 10th grader. He's probably, 71, 72. So, I mean, his arm strength is coming along, and, it's a chance for him to get out there and compete. And I'm lucky blessed to give him that chance to do that.
Even though Logan may have what appears to be challenges in life, for him it's the tools God gave him to create his journey. The tools he gave him to not only put in work on the ball field alongside his teammates, but also in the weight room.
Well, for power cleans, most people will start off, they grab the bar with 2 hands, bring it down, and then they kind of snatch it up here. But I reach down with 1 hand, pull it up and catch it with my elbow, and then I flick it up like that.
Logan's unique style of lifting has him maxing out at 145 pounds for his cleans, right around his body weight with just 1 hand. Logan's way of figuring it out is something that hasn't surprised anyone who knows him. His dedication and thrive to be the best is just who he is.
I'll go downstairs at midnight and say, why aren't you in bed? And he'll be down there, doing crunches or working at, doing a little workout or something. Like, he's just always, always going for it.
Well, he works hard.
Logan plans to attend college at Auburn, and as for baseball after high school, I think we will see Logan trying everything he can to wear that orange and blue on the 2024 team.
Probably don't give up, because, it's kind of important.
Donette Logan, High School Sports Weekly.
Another great story that we're so glad we could bring here on High School Sports Weekly.
Yeah, such an inspiring young man, and we hope to bring you stories like this throughout the season. And of course, if you know of any stories like this, please send them to us on Facebook. We would love to hear from you and get more stories like this.
Speaking of great stories, we're about a month into the cross-country season for our 7A teams. And in the rankings right now, your top 5, really 3 of them from our area, Hewitt, Trussville, Hoover, and also Oak Mountain and Spain Park. So 4 of the top 5 with Mountain Brook sandwiched in the middle. And with meets happening almost daily, those rankings could change in a split second. Just before the season started, Hoover's coach, Devin Hine, received a huge honor. Hine was named the Track and Field and Cross Country National Coach of the Year. Since taking over the program in 2003, Hine has led Hoover to 39 track and field or cross country championships. It's the second time in his career that Hine has received the honor of National Coach of the Year.
Well, it was very shocking when I got the phone call. I was up vacationing in Michigan when I got it, and so I was like, wow, well, that's nice. And then when you start thinking about it, about all the coaches in 50 different states throughout the United States, and just all the coaches in the state of Alabama, and they picked me. I know it has a lot to do with my assistant coaches. It's not all about Devin Hine, it's about our program here. You don't get to be Coach of the Year unless you've got outstanding athletes that rank nationally without having help from all the assistant coaches who really are the ones who are hands-on coaching a lot of these. I just kind of run the whole show and make sure everything gets done the way it needs to get done. And the administration who allows us to go to big meets, the Booster Club who helps us raise money so we can go to all these meets. It's a great team effort, and so it's not just about Devin Hine, it's about our whole program. Well, we've had some amazing athletes. I can't single out any because there's been so many. If you look at our school record board, when anybody comes in here that knows anything about track and field and they look at our school record board, they're like, oh my gosh, this is like a college with the records we've got. We've got kids who have been who are top 10 all time in the nation in hurdles with the Humphreys. And we started here with Robert Bedsole. He was 5th in the nation in cross country, and year after year after year we just keep getting tremendous athletes, and success builds on success, and these athletes teach others how to become successful, and they see them how hard they work and they model it, and so it's just been a tremendous run of victories.
He's definitely a tough coach, but he'll always tell you straight up, and he's really good about pushing us to our hardest, work our hardest, and do the best we can. And if we don't have necessarily the best race, he'll tell us that, but that just makes you want to work harder for that praise. What true hard work is, and knowing that it doesn't matter, or you don't stop when you're tired, you stop when you're done.
He is really good at motivating us, and he always has a plan. If you stick to his plan, you're pretty much set up to succeed. He knows what he's doing every day. I've learned about how much of a mental game this sport is and life in general.
When we come back, we'll hear from the guys at National Scouting Report.
OS1 Sports Injury Clinic in Hoover is a proud partner of High School Sports Weekly. OS1 has fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians right here in your community. There's no appointment needed. Just drive up to the door. They've got X-ray and MRI on site. So now, being injured or having an orthopedic issue doesn't mean you need to be exposed to sick people. Avoid the hassle and time of going to an ER when you can get more specialized care in a more timely fashion at OS1. Open 7 days a week to serve you. It's OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, and find them online at bettersooner.com.
Hey everybody, my name is Rachel Brown. I'm a National Softball Scout based here in Alabama, and I want to welcome you back to the National Scouting Report Recruiting Roundtable. Last week we touched on the importance of the September 1st date and what that means for high school junior student athletes as well as the Division I programs. So this week I want to touch on what to do now that that date has come and gone. So if you are a 2022 graduate and you have received interest or communication from a Division I program, my advice to you is 1, keep that line of communication open with those coaches, and 2, make sure you get on that campus. The Division I coaches are still in a dead period, so the unofficial visits, the official visits, we don't know when those will be able to come. So make sure you get with those schools that have shown interest and set up an admissions tour. Make that a priority. If you have not received any communication or interest from Division I programs, it's okay. Don't panic, okay? This year has been crazy, and the coaches are figuring out their scholarship money, they're figuring out their roster size. So again, take a deep breath and don't panic. And also realize that even though you don't hear from Division I coaches, that does not mean that you cannot play in college. There are other levels and divisions that you can be successful at that you need to explore and may end up being the perfect fit for you. So, with that being said, that's all I got for you today for the Recruiting Roundtable. Look forward to seeing y'all next time.
Time to get back into high school football conversation here on High School Sports Weekly. Let's take a look at the schedule on tap this week for Class 7A Region 3. We start with you at Trussville going to Northport to take on the Wildcats of County High. Also, Gadsden City will be on the road at Hoover. The Buccaneers trying to get to 4-0 on the season. Oak Mountain's going to try to stay perfect as well, while Vestavia looks for its first win of the year. The Rebels taking on the Eagles. And Thompson is in Hoover. They'll be taking on the Spain Park Jags. We'll look forward to recapping those games next week and look forward to having you with us for week number 2, Susan.
Thank you. Looking forward to it. And thank you so much to OS1 Sports Injury Clinic. Please like our page on Facebook, like and share our videos with family and friends, and send us any stories you think we might be interested in covering.
And we look forward to seeing you next time right here on High School Sports Week.